So the new year's coming, and a lot of people talk about New Year's resolutions and change, and we've talked a lot about change before. Is there anything on the horizon at Integrity Wellness or in your practice?
Absolutely. We are super excited to be announcing or soon to be announcing plan that I'm putting together that we're going to be taking 20 women and accepting and hosting over probably about a 12-week period of time and working through the process of like a phoenix rising. So where you're feeling stuck, you're feeling like you're not able to pivot even though you want change in your life. That's why the new year is so good for that momentum and that motivation. Everyone loves the new possibility. And so we want to find 20 incredibly committed women who really, really do want change. And I want to walk them through the process of what I've found really works to move you through that abyss of surviving, that despair, that really hard, overwhelmed, almost burnout. So if any of those things are resonating, right, with anyone listening, this might be for you because those moments and those times in our lives that challenges or circumstances or conditions of life external to us have brought us to the depths of or to our knees because of, they're not the easiest things to get out of ourselves. Sometimes we get into loops of thought and loops of emotions and loops of reactions and loops of patterns of living. And there's a process and there's a sacred nature to it. And being supported through the process, surrounded by women that are like-minded, going through similar things, and seeing the successes other people are having and feeling your own supported is huge, right? And one of my main goals is empowerment and to be able to help people live better and live healthier. So in the new year, we're taking the mojo, if you will, the vibes of the new year, and I'm presenting 3 separate occasions, maybe more, depending on how much material I actually finish putting together, because I'm a bit of a verbose person. I put a lot together. So at least 3 2-hour sessions where I'm presenting very practical, very applicable skills, strategies, and practices, and working through things with the group of women. And then also offering them 3 months within the clinic in that package or that workshop altogether. So I'm super excited about that.
That sounds amazing. And why don't you just share a little bit about where you came from? You don't have to, I guess, get into all the details behind it, but like, what did you overcome specifically?
Mm-hmm.
And how do you know for certain that, of course, okay, if it works for you, but how can you be certain it's going to work for a lot of other women as well?
Right.
What are the key components to making that work, and what might they see?
Okay. So obviously, there's no guarantee that anything will work the same for anyone, but there are principles that, universal principles and laws that are, if we follow them and we apply them in our own life, there is no way that we can't have the outcome that we're looking for, at least in the vicinity. So I follow universal principles. I follow order of nature, really. and all of that's applicable in the way that we deal with our mental and emotional lives and how we get over challenges or how we get stuck in challenges. And so some of the key components are really that, and I won't go into too much detail, but that we are vibrational beings. We live in a vibrational universe. And so I'll teach on the concepts of frequency and vibration, the concepts of the substrate or the source of energy that all derives from. So that will be part of it. Part of it will also be about what is energy, what are our thoughts, what are our emotions, and sort of neuroscience or neurobiology will be brought into it, and looking at how do we change the patterns that we currently have, that we're kind of looping in our software, if you will. And when we start, the subtle signs that we should start to see when we're making some successes, they're very distinct and the same in each person. So it's nice to be able to have someone who's been through it already, and I'll go over what I've been through in a bit, to be able to give you the validation, right? And the verification that this is in fact what you're seeing from the changes that you've made, right? And so that's really rewarding for people to be able to have. And it's also a security almost. I feel like in the world that we live in right now, there's a lack of security for a lot of women. The world is a very savage place almost, where um, everyone's treating each other quite aggressively and disrespectfully, and very, very masculine energy, but from a feminine source too, most of the time. It's a bizarre world to live in. And I think a lot of women are struggling with that. And so as we work through trying to uncover and untether all of the conditions and the beliefs are just thoughts you've had repeated. And we live most of our life in our thoughts with ourself. And if we don't know the quality of those thoughts and we don't understand even what our thoughts are doing, then it's very difficult to make true change and to redirect ourselves. A lot of people live in this sort of default setting. And I'm not looking for people like that are comfortable and happy living in that sort of default, allowing the external world to dictate what they're doing and how they're living. I'm looking for the people that they know that something better is available and accessible, and they actually want to put in the effort and commit to themselves to the change that's required to get to the outcome that they want. And I know it's possible because I've done it. I've been there, and not just once. It's kind of started with medical school, and that was a very challenging journey. I think anyone can imagine how difficult it is to A, get into medical school, and B, to go through medical school and then residency. It's very grueling. It's very shame-based. Not all the time, of course, there's great things about it, but a lot of the ways that they go about challenging students is very shame-based, and it eats at you over time. How tired and exhausted that we become just doing the day in and day out activities that we have to do. That translates also into life after medical school and burnout. And so I've been in all of these places, and emotionally and psychologically, it can be very isolating and lonely um, and hopeless almost. And I know myself, and I've always known myself. And so to recognize the difference and sit there and say, there has to be something better. And the moment I said that, the universe responded. There is something better. And it's up to me to keep choosing to unpack that and unfold it and move forward with it. And I did, and I'm thriving. I love my life. I love where I am. I love where I've been. I love where I'm going. And I want to be able to help people, especially women, because women are caregivers. They're often, heavily burdened or feel the burden of caring for everyone else, and they never care for themselves. Again, I'm also a woman who's been in that position too, right? So I bring a lot of value and a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom through all of what I've been through, what I've studied, what I've applied, the difference in my perspective now of life, the universe, and the human body, and just how brilliant um, life really is and what we've been missing out on that I don't want to miss out on anymore. And I want to inspire people to want to have that in their life too.
That sounds fantastic. So, to be clear, if you're a woman, I guess within any particular age group, I imagine an
I just say
adult.
over 18,
Yeah.
right? I'm not going to start a youth group at the moment, but women over 18.
And then they're going to go through approximately 3 to 4, I guess, seminars that you will teach to, and you're going to basically teach them to really unlock the potential that they know is within them. They just need that extra guidance and that push, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, they're going to be learning a lot more about how we as humans operate and the ether of life,
Yep.
the importance of everything that you teach about, and they get to come use everything offered here at Integrity Wellness for those 3 months.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that they um, could also look forward to within that time?
Well, I think you know me, Jesse, and maybe some of the listeners don't, but I always over deliver, right? So I'm always super generous with my time. I'll always give more of myself because I have more to give now. Um, and I always give homework. So I give very practical um, strategies or practices that they can use at home because these changes are no different than what it takes to change anything else, like weight loss, right? So this could be, it doesn't matter what your challenge you're dealing with. It could be a relationship, it could be weight loss, it could be weight gain, it could be muscle, it could be financial, it could be any challenge that you're facing that you want to do better in your life at and improve, and this will be applicable, right? So I'm going to give you very fundamental strategies and things that you can work on at home, just like you would strengthen a muscle. And you have to be willing to put in the effort. And it's not a lot of effort. It might sound like a lot when I'm talking, but it actually is just about the consistency and the sincerity of it. How much do you want this? And how willing are you to put in a little bit of time each day? Just a little bit. And you'll see the growth and the change very rapidly. And I think now's the time that a lot of women and a lot of people are really looking to improve the life that they're living.
Definitely, and there's no better time to do that than January 2025, right? The
Yeah.
beginning of the new year. And yes, like Crystal always has way more to deliver. She always has amazing things to talk about and really opens your perspective quite a bit. And I imagine for these 20 women who will get in, and I'm sure there will have a link to open up to sign up or some sort of way of joining this Phoenix Rising group,
Mm-hmm.
that they will get much more than what they expected, and they will take away something completely new walking out of it, right? Like, it's
100%.
learning is the biggest thing from this group. It's not even
Right.
about um the end result for you. It's mostly about the knowledge that you're going to get from doing it. And in spite of that, you will get the results that
Yeah.
you are already after.
I think there's also something that comes along with everything that I do is so multifaceted, and it's stacked upon each other because it's like adding value to adding value to adding value. So it's compounding. So when we do sessions or groups like this in person, we're getting all of that energy together. So we are actually merging our fields, we're sharing energy, and it's like lightning, right? It's majestic. And so you're getting the power of that. But on top of that, you're getting there's a lot about my nature that people respond really well to. So I'm quite calm. I'm very certain in the knowledge that I have and how I apply it, and that is provides reassurance to people. It also provides a sense of security or comfort that they're in good hands, right? Knowing that I've been through this, knowing that I'm a medical doctor, all of these things add value to this group that we're going to have. And then the dynamics, right? The social dynamics, the relations that happen, the stories that are going to be shared. Every bit of the life we live really comes down to the stories we tell ourselves. And so we're going to change the story together. And all of the pieces that are going to fall into place are going to be supported, right, by this backdrop and by this sacred nature of women supporting women instead of women tearing women down. So it's really important to me because I've seen a ton of that in especially the workforce. And I want something different for the world, for my daughter growing up, for the next generations. And so it's a time dedication, but it's invaluable, right? It's stacked full of tons of value and tons of knowledge. But I also think it's the intrinsic part of us as well that we can never put a finger on, but that's the biggest part of life, right? The feeling that people will come away with this being more secure in themselves, being closer to knowing themselves, having a plan of moving forward. These are invaluable because they're immeasurable. They're intrinsic to the person.
Love it. So if you're a woman over 18 and you know that there is something bigger and deeper within you that you are capable of, there is no other investment that is better for you than this, especially in the new year, January 2025.
Yeah.
You will not only change your perspective of life, you will find out more of who you are, and you will walk out of there knowing exactly what you need to do to get what you want and to become who you want.
Yes. The details will be coming, I would say, likely in the next 1 to 2 weeks. We will post on our website as well as we'll do a announcement that we'll post on our YouTube channel and on social media. So look for us there. And if anyone has questions or if they're interested or they just want to connect and touch base and ask questions about it, now we can be available either by phone or by email. And the information will be in the link below or the description below. And yeah, I'd love to hear from any of you that are kind of considering that already because I'm super excited. I cannot wait for the new year. It's going to be great.
Om Soham Om Soham